Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. It is a not chilly evening. Actually, it's a pretty nice evening. Just wanted to join in with you guys. I'm excited to jump in and get this show on the road. Just a few housekeeping points before we get started. First of all, I am so appreciative and so humbled that you guys take time out of your busy schedule to join me on the lives. It's a blessing and it's an enlightenment, for me to experience, your comments, your questions, your anecdotes, and just to know where you're from and what's going on in your world. So please, as you're beginning to sign on, do not hesitate from asking questions. Do not hesitate from giving comments. It's necessary. This is how we find out, what you're thinking. And it also helps us to set the stage for subsequent live performances or live presentations, rather. Another thing I want to share with you guys, that if you're a part of the app, please feel free to join, subscribe. We want you to subscribe. We want you to start going into the community. Let's start having conversations. Let's start talking. Let's start making this thing come alive. I know a lot of you are on because you really enjoy the lives, but I want you to take it a step further. And let's start communicating during the weekend, not just at 7 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. All right. Let's join. Let's talk. Let's get out there. Let's do this thing. Let's make this movement move. All right. All right. So make sure you join. Subscribe if you have not. When you subscribe, you can become a user. But when you actually, you can become a user. Oh, and I hate that there was a 2-minute delay. But when you actually subscribe, you actually get a number of other perks. And hey, PJ Reinhardt, how you doing, man? You get a lot of perks and a lot of other things that come with this app. This app is chock full of interesting and powerful resources and things for you to help your marriage, to help your life, for you to become a better you, whether you're single, dating, or married. This is for you. Hi, Crystal Patrick. How are you? It's good to see you. Thank you for joining us again. So please, if you're on, go to communities and let's get rolling. I'm going to be doing something a little different. Not just tonight. Forgive me if I'm sipping my coffee. It keeps my throat lubricated. But also on the lives, we have a number of live groups. The Dallas live group, the Progression live group. There are a number of others, marriage community. As you go into those, what we're going to be doing is we're going to actually be going live on those. And that's going to be a little different because you have an opportunity also to be on video with me. So we're going to be talking and we're going to ask you to make sure. Oh, thank you, PJ. We're going to make sure that you get all the information you need. And this, PJ said, you're a blessing to us and have helped my wife and I in a major way. Look, man, I am so humbled by that comment. Thank you guys for, especially when men make those comments. We got a lot of women on, but when they hear men talking, man, that does my heart good because the brothers, sometimes we don't talk. So, I love that. So thank you so much. All right. Hey, let's jump right in. I'm sure others will be getting on as we move forward. So let's jump right in. I sent out a notification saying we're going to be talking about holiday blues. There's a myth going around, and I want to share it with you and dispel it at the same time. And that myth says that this is probably one of the more depressing times of the year, around the Thanksgiving, Christmas season, and that in addition, that the suicide rate spikes during the November, December times. Now, look, again, please, if you have comments, questions, or what have you, feel free to join in and give us your information. And if you're on and not giving comments, just go ahead and type in saying, hey, from LA, from Las Vegas, from whatever. Just let us know you're on. So that myth has been going around for years, saying that this is one of the more depressing times of the year. You want to know the truth of the matter? There is no scientific data, no polls taken. There's nothing that supports that philosophy. In fact, the November and December, according to the CDC, Center for Disease Control, says that November and December are some of the lowest suicide months. Go figure, right? Hey, from the DMV, go figure. Those are some of the lowest months for people committing self-harm. Now, let me tell you something. I think that the reason that rumor got out is because a lot of folk get frustrated around this time of year. They get very frustrated around this time of year. They get very overwhelmed with thinking that they have to meet obligations. They have to reach standards and buy gifts that are unnecessary. And so people, all of a sudden, they feel like, hey, look, this has got to be a depressing time because they're depressed. But everybody isn't. Now, here is something interesting that's about this season. January has been nicknamed by sociologists as divorce month. Yeah, January. Because January does have the highest spike in divorces in more than any other month of the year in the United States. Roughly about 25 to 30% spike over other months. Now, there are a couple reasons for that. One is holiday stress. Y'all know how it is in the holiday. Everybody's stressed out, and then all of a sudden what happens? You start going at each other. It's not bad enough that you're buying things that you can't afford, to buy stuff for people that you might not even like, all right? But now you start going in at each other, all right? And that is one reason for the stress during these holidays. And I'm going to caution you, when you start turning on the people who are closest to you, there's a deeper issue. And you know how I always say, you got to get counseling, okay? You got to get counseling. My wife is on here saying the one reason of stress is that people are not giving good gifts. That is not a reason for stress, okay? That is not a reason for stress. But one thing that is that people are feeling this holiday stress. They're feeling, and a lot of times they put off divorce until after the holidays because they don't want to upset family and friends and the kids and all that. Another reason that people are finding that January is a high divorce month is because of year-end finances. And financial reasons like work and tax bonuses and whatever can play a big role in divorce. All right. And thank you, PJ. He says, this is so good in confirmation. He just started grief counseling 2 weeks ago. Excellent. Look, man, I cannot say enough how important it is for people to get into counseling at the very first sign that you see a problem. The very first sign that you see something is off. Now, let me tell you something. When you go to the doctor, I mean, look, you got a pain in your back. You got a pain in your neck, a pain in your head. You don't know where it comes from. It just comes from nowhere. And all of a sudden you just, what in the world? I'm going to go see somebody. Why? Because I don't know where it is. It's the same with your mind and your psyche. The moment you feel that something is off, the moment you feel that something is just awry, that you're not operating like you normally should, you don't have to go to a doctor. You have to go to a therapist. You need to go to a counselor. As a pastor, it was important to me not to bleed all over the people I'm responsible for healing. Man, you are so right. And I'm with you there, as I'm a pastor as well. And it's so important for us to get self-help. Because, and whether you're a pastor, or whether you're in a relationship, what have you, especially husbands who take on the responsibility of family. For husbands, listen, I'm going to tell you something. Because we carry weight, and Wendy and I, we've been talking about this, that men in marriages tend to carry a different kind of weight than women. Not that women don't carry weight, it's just men carry it differently. This is the reason our life expectancy is lower than women. This is the reason we tend to get diseases more, because we carry stress. And the moment you feel that, you need to get help. Nick D says, I need to find the time for counseling. Girl, look, let me tell you something. There's no finding the time for counseling. If you're sick, you find the time to go to the doctor. If you need counseling, you find the time. It is just that important. It is that vital. Okay. Another reason that people are finding that divorce is a big deal is because in January is because in the new year some people want to get a head start. They feel like this is their time to start afresh, to start life afresh. No. Do not get caught up in that holiday hamster wheel and that thing that I'm so depressed. Look, Wendy and I, we decided some years ago, if we don't want to give gifts, we're not giving gifts. Everybody do not let the holidays dictate your happiness. And this is a segue. Don't let the holidays dictate your happiness or induce your stress. Don't do that. And even as far as people who go into debt on the holidays, yes, there is debt. The question is there a high depression rate because of the debt? Debt is always depressing. And this is year round, right? So do not, I'm telling you, I'm begging you, do not go into debt on this holiday season. If you have not done all your shopping now, stop it. Kill it. It's all good. Forget it. You don't need it. Okay? Give love at Christmas times. That's what the Temptation said. Okay? That's the most important thing. So let's talk about this thing called happiness, because I'm finding that at the root of all this is the fact that people are looking to be happy. And we feel that sometimes we get happiness by giving gifts. We get happiness by receiving gifts. But let me ask you this. What exactly is happiness? And if I were to ask you just to write on here what happiness was, I'm going to give you a second. Tell me, what do you think happiness is? What does it mean to be happy? Everybody answer except Wendy. But what does it mean to be happy? I'm going to tell you, as I talk, I'm looking for answers. Because whenever I ask couples, what is the goal of their marriage? I promise you, there are so many of them who say, my goal is to be happy. Our goal is to be happy. Well, let me tell you, first of all, that's an impossibility. Okay? Because happiness, there are three things that happiness is not. First of all, happiness is not a goal. Happiness is not a goal. It cannot be a goal. And this might sound kind of strange or kind of avant-garde or kind of different, but happiness cannot be a goal. Let me tell you why. Happiness is more of a feeling, hear me, and a goal has to be, the SMART acronym, it has to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time sensitive. Any goal has to be specific, where you can actually say it. For instance, I want to build a house. I'm planning on building a house in Buckhead, Georgia. That's a specific goal. I want it to be 3,000 square foot or 5,000 square feet, right? And I'm going to achieve this because I'm going to have the money to do it. I'm saving up money. I have X number of dollars. This is something that my family needs because we need to expand. That's the relevancy. And we're going to do this in 18 months. That's the time bind. So a goal has to have those. SMART, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time sensitive. When it comes to happiness, it does not fit those categories. Happiness is not specific. Happiness is not measurable. By good feeling? No, absolutely not. Is a little happiness or big happiness? No. Is it achievable? Absolutely, it's achievable. That's the only thing. Is it relevant? Yeah, but is it time bound? Absolutely not. So stop saying that our goal is to be happy. Crystal Patrick says that happiness is contentment equals happiness to me. To be in peace, to be in a peace with who I am or what I am doing. Yes, okay, and that's good. That's good. Happiness is contentment, but it can't be a goal. But contentment can be happiness. And everyone has to find happiness in their own way. Feeling comfortable doing anything you want. That's a different definition, which shows you that happiness cannot be measurable because everyone has a different definition. Yeshua Pringle says, happiness is a decision to be satisfied with the blessings and life you have rather than focusing on the things you don't have. Wow. Yeah. 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 Eleanor Roosevelt, I believe, said, success is getting what you want, but happiness is wanting what you get. That's what it is for her. Wendy says, isn't happiness self-grown? We create our happy and other people can only add to it. Now you guys are talking. Yeah. And I'm glad you're saying this. So I want you to start rewiring your thinking about happiness. Happiness is not a goal, but happiness, as so many of you have said, or in fact, all of you have said, happiness is the result of achieving other things. Happiness comes because other things in my life are in place. I'm content, be it financially or in my relationship, then that brings happiness. I'm comfortable. I like what I'm doing. So then there comes happiness as a result of that. Okay. I've decided to be satisfied with what I have and not envious of what I don't. And happiness is a result of that. So happiness is not a goal. So when people say my goal is to be happy, it kind of bothers me when I talk to couples. Well, we just want to be happy. Really, come out the clouds. No, you want to accomplish something. And in the journey of accomplishing that, happiness will come. Happiness comes as a result of you achieving goals. It is not the goal. Second thing happiness is not. Happiness is not determined by someone else. It can only be determined by you. For instance, you make me happy. No one can make you happy. People can create an environment where you choose happiness or where you feel it easy to accept that feeling or that emotion, but they can't make you happy. And conversely, they can't make you unhappy. They can create an environment that's not conducive for you to create a happy feeling, but can they make you do that? No. No human should ever have that much power to make you happy or to make you unhappy. You should never, ever give anyone that much power. I don't care if it's your spouse. I don't care if it's your mom, your dad, whomever. No one has the power to make you happy. If you're a spiritual person, God makes you happy. Okay? Only one's got that power. Right? You can make yourself happy by the decisions you make and the goals you achieve. But no other person. So one thing happiness is not a goal. The second thing happiness is not, it's not determined by someone else. You can't make me happy. You can't make me unhappy. That's my choice, and you can't take that away from me. All right? Is it realistic to always be happy? Well, if you have diminished capacity, yes. Okay, I'm sorry, that's very politically incorrect. But if something's wrong and you have diminished capacity, or you could be happy all the time, but that's not reasonable. Because as human beings, we will experience ebbs and flows, highs and lows, flourishing and lulls. We experience all those things. And happiness is simply comes with the positive things that happen in our lives. Now, there's a difference between happiness, which is simply a feeling, and then joy. Okay, which is more of a lifestyle. Okay, let me go on though. Let me tell you the third thing happiness is not. One, happiness is not a goal. Secondly, happiness is not determined by someone else. Thirdly, happiness is controllable. Okay, so happiness it's something that you have control over. You can choose to be it, or you can choose not to have it. It's something that you have complete and absolute control over. It's something that's in your hands at all times. I've learned this in life because I've had a number of tragedies in my life. I donated a kidney to my sister and it failed. Incredible period of unhappiness in my life, right? I've had friends who have died. I've had friends who have committed suicide. I've had both my parents have died. There have been a lot of different tragedies. I've gone through financial distress. I've had bankruptcies in my past, singular, a bankruptcy in my past, right? I had a failed marriage when I was much younger. But I came to the conclusion that those things happened in my life, but they don't control my life. No matter how dire they are, they don't control my life. That's my decision. And I've come to the conclusion that you have complete and absolute control over anything that happens in your life. You have that power to control it, to choose to be happy in it, or to understand, hey, look, I'm choosing unhappiness here. I'm choosing that my marriage is no longer working. When people come to me and say, hey, this relationship is not going to work. Okay, fine. Why? Because you say so. And one thing I've learned, when two people come to me and both of them are saying, hey, this is not going to work, guess what? It's not. Because whether you believe you can or whether you believe you cannot, you're right. Because it's all your choice. Okay? Our thoughts take to or away from our happy places. Getting a great handle on how and what we think makes a huge difference on our state of mind, state of joy, and segments of happiness. I would agree with that completely. One thing you have to understand is that happiness is a complete feeling. And even when people break up in relationships, it's especially I'm talking about a good relationship, whether you're dating or single or you met somebody and all of a sudden you're like, I don't like this anymore. Whether you're dating, single or married, I found that the reason relationships break up is not because people are not happy anymore, but rather they've chosen to focus on their feelings more so than the facts of the relationship. You see, the facts are quite often the things that keep you in the relationship. Feelings are the things that make you feel good about the relationship. But facts, those are the things that actually keep you in it. Okay? Feelings, you can feel good about it, but you got to remember the facts. And when people focus on the feelings as opposed to fact, and then they omit the faith, they're pretty much doomed. Because happiness is a feeling. It's not a fact. So here's my counsel for you as we go into this holiday season. I want you to, if you find that this pressure is impinging upon your happiness in your relationship, I want you to go back to the facts. Go back to the facts of why you're in this space. Go back to the fact that your spouse or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your parents or whomever have been supportive of you. They've been with you. They've seen you through some hard times. They've been there. They've cried with you. You've cried with them. Go to the facts, not to the feelings. The feelings say, I don't like you right now. I don't like what you did. But the facts are that, yes, you made a mistake. But if I were to judge the whole of my relationship, I would realize that you have factually been an asset to me and not a liability. Yeah, that's how you differentiate between feelings and facts, by looking at those tangible things that person has done that keeps you there. Okay? Now I'm talking now. Y'all ain't responding. I don't know if it's because you're picking up what I'm putting down or what. But I need you to understand that feelings are subjective experiences that are shaped by our perceptions, our beliefs, our experiences. Facts are objective and verifiable pieces of information. Objective and verifiable pieces of information. And the more we focus on that, on those facts more so than feelings, it will build our faith. Your faith is built on facts, not on feelings. Your faith is built on what you know, not on what you feel. Okay? Going to the facts is actually a common strategy in therapy. Well, thank you very much, Rosie. And so consider this you guys, your free therapy session. We are seldom hindered by our challenges we face. Our biggest hindrance is usually our perception of the situation. A change in your perception absolutely can change your entire life. Nick D says, but you both need to understand that in a relationship, girl, you are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You both need to understand that. And that's why, again, I will say therapy is mandatory for people. You must get in front of people who can remind you of this if you don't have the bandwidth or you don't have the experience to remind each other. You don't have the patience, to remind each other. You must get somewhere, where people can remind you of that. All right. And you're right, Nick. You both have to understand that, because one person depending on fact while the others depending on feeling will still equal failure. I know I'm throwing around a lot of F-bombs here, but one person depending on fact while the other depends on feeling will end up in failure. But if both people focus on fact, understanding that feeling is necessary, but feeling is not the thing, facts are the thing, then it will build your faith in the relationship. Okay? All right, Crystal, I'm glad you're picking up what I'm putting down. All right. Excellent. So look, this is what I want you to do. So if you're having any issues in your relationship right now and you're questioning whether or not your girlfriend, your spouse, your friend, your mother, your children even, whether or not they are adding to or detracting from your life, or whether or not yes, I'm going there now, Crystal. Whether or not, and I'm glad you're saying this. Ask that question, Crystal. If you feel as though someone in your life is not contributing to your life, this is what you got to focus on: the facts. Now, when it comes to single people, she asks, "Is there any nuggets of wisdom for single?" And I'm so glad you asked that, because I want you to know something. Under normal circumstances, I would like to do a session here for singles and then a session for people who are married. But I've been doing it generally. Eventually, we will have to separate and do them one, maybe 2 or 3 a week, 3 or 4 a week rather. But when it comes to single people, I hope you're picking up this stuff and learning it, because what this is doing is it's making you a better you. Because if you're not married right now, but you're looking for that, you have to make sure that you are the best you that you could possibly be. And understanding that those differences between facts and feelings, understand those differences between, hey, look, if I meet somebody or if I go out with someone, let me find out, first of all, about the facts of this person. Okay, I'm not going to focus on, I don't like the way, as I heard people say, I don't like the fit. Forget all that crap. That means nothing. My wife laughs right now that when we first got married, she had to change my wardrobe because she said I was wearing mom jeans. It's a lie, but she says so. But so forget all that crap. Look at the facts that underlie the person. Look at the facts, those values, those things that are at that person's root. And that's what you're going to focus on. Now, look, one fact might be that I want 6'1", but this person's only 5'10". That's a fact. Now, I don't know how you feel about that. But the fact is, this person is 5'10", but there's so much more about them. So many other things about them that are just incredible. I'm not going to lose this person because of that. All right? Because trust me, when you get old, all y'all going to be under 5'10". Everybody going to shrink. So sometimes we get so overwhelmed with these perceptions and all this other crap when we need to start looking at the things that really make sense. Okay. You should let us like each other's comments in the lives. Yeah. You know what? That's something that I will talk about. We can talk about that. Let's see if that's possible. I'll talk to my developers. Okay. All right, guys. You know what? I'm going to stop here because my wife is going off. So who's this? Nick D says, I'm only 5 feet, so I'll take the short men. Absolutely. Let me tell you something. That's kind of interesting. But I'm going to tell you something, Nick, with that attitude. And I tell people this, I'm just drop a word for you single people, especially single women. With that attitude, look, I'm more concerned with the height of their integrity, the height of their personality than the height of their physicality. I'm telling you, you're going to find somebody who's a complete gem in your life. All right. But what we found is that a lot of people really miss the gold, okay, because they're looking for the flash. And they don't know how to find the gold without the flash. right? And so they're looking for the big this and the big that and all this and all that. No, look for values. All right. All right, guys, you there? You with me? We're done for the day, okay? I'm so happy, so appreciative. We'll see you guys. Look, tell your friends. We're going to be back on Thursday, okay? Tell your friends. Let's double our users and our participants here, because I want people to get this, okay? And we're going to start coming on, and my wife is going to start coming on with me because she has so many comments that I'm going to put her face in the camera, and we're going to come on together, all right? Because I need that female perspective as well. So expect to see more of that. All right, you guys take care of yourselves. God bless you. Thank you so much for coming out. And if you have any ideas, any topics, go to the community. Let us know. Start your community conversations. Go to the community section in the app. It's free for now. Go there. Start talking it up. Start your conversations with people, and let me know what you want to hear about. Okay. Let me know. All right. We'll done. I see your suggestions. This is good stuff. Okay. God bless you guys. Take care.